All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. Like I mentioned to you guys, I'm going to have to rewrite. I didn't save my charts yesterday like a dummy. When I went to shut down my Desktop Pro, it asked me if you want to save your template, and I clicked no, and I said, oh, as soon as I hit no, I was like, damn it. So all my charts that I drew yesterday, everything got deleted. So, good news is it's summer trading, so there's not a whole lot going on. I just have to redraw everything. All right, so let's start with the euro dollar. Let me get rid of I didn't want to get rid of that, but that's okay. I'll just redraw all this stuff. Okay, so as far as the euro goes, we're closing in on support. That support comes in at 111.10. This red line here, and the reason why that is so important is if you go from this price down to here, you got the 618 comes right into play. But what also is interesting, if you take it from the trend low, okay, we're at the 50% retracement right now. And that's kind of what's holding us at the moment, right? Is that that 50% retracement. But what I've been thinking most of this time is right here, is that we'll push right through the support, and then from there find support, this 111.10, and I think that's what's going to happen is we get a strong piece of data, right? So we get a strong ADP if we push down and then we bounce. Okay, now I'm not going to be buying the euro dollar. I think you can trade the euro dollar to the long side, and you probably be able to make a little bit of money here. That's not what I'm planning on doing today. I plan on trading the dollar a little differently, but if you want to play into some dollar, if we get a strong ADP, I think we finally hit that 111.10 and then bounce. All right. Now resistance, we've been looking at resistance as being, up here at 112.40, but we'd have to see a really freaking weak number in order to get up there now today. More of a realistic expectation, I think, is maybe a move back up to 112 and finding some resistance there if we have a weak number. If the ADP number just doesn't come in within market expectations. Now I thought that was really interesting. Mark Chandler, in his morning note, I had an opportunity to read it, the headline, and I retweeted it. He said August is missed 5 years in a row, and I was like, wow, that's a pretty stout statistic, So the market's looking for 170,000. I mean, let's say ADP comes in at like 140. Well, if that's the case, then we might spike up towards 112. Okay, but I do believe that because it's summer, it's not like we're I'm going to be looking for some 100-pip move here. The dollar yen has been an outlier because of the comments that came from the BOJ yesterday. That was unexpected from Hamada, BOJ's Hamada, to give out those comments, and the dollar yen, like I said, has been more of an outlier. But for the euro dollar, I'm not expecting a huge move here. Okay, so a move up to 112 probably is gonna, you're gonna find people that you gotta think if you were a buyer up here, in the last couple of weeks, if you get back to 112, you're probably going to pare back some of your longs. You'll probably say, okay, well, at least I got some of my losses back, so I'm going to go ahead and get out. So I think any move up to 112 will find some sellers. All right. I still think the bias is bearish, and we still remain below this massive trend line over here. And while we're below that, it's still bearish. Now, likely find some support down here. following non-farm payroll on Friday, if it's a really strong number, like let's say we print a 200,000 print or 220 or something like that. Like Paul was saying, we might actually get down to 110 on Friday. All right. I plan on not having any dollar exposure going into Friday, unless the Aussie and Kiwi give us a substantial rally that I can sell into. That's the only possibility. Maybe the dollar Canadian on a real big dip, I might. But I plan on kind of keeping it light with the dollar this week. Not a lot of, you don't have your risk reward at this stage in the euro. It's not good. It's not good. Oh, by the way, I did close out of my euro pound this morning short, just so you guys know. I had to do that to compensate for the slide in the Aussie New Zealand. Stupid Aussie New Zealand continues to grind lower. So I took some profits in the euro pound. I made good money overnight in my euro pound short, but I had to take it off the table to. It's like I was telling the guys in the chat room. It's like typical summer trading. You make money one place, you lose money the other place, and you end up spinning your wheels. That's exactly what I don't want to say my summer's been, but my week has been. So yeah, I took profits on the euro pound today. It was a good trade, by the way. I don't know if you guys had been trading that one. All right, I got to keep moving because we got ADP coming up. So here's the cable. Again, I have to redraw everything, but let's delete. I'll have to draw that fib again here. Let's delete that stuff. Okay, so here's the cable, and we didn't quite make it down to, as we didn't quite make it down to the. We didn't quite make it down as far as I thought we were going to make it down in the cable. We only retraced a 50% retracement this far. So if you take the low to the high here, there's a 50% retracement. So that held. Now we're coming right up to the sell zone again. Do I want to sell the cable here? No. But I think if you can get a rally, like if you take this high to low, if you get a rally to the 618, I think this is going to be a great place to short the pound. Now, if we can rally to like 132, that is the 618. I think that'll be a nice area. Okay, obviously at this point support is pretty strong here at 130.60. Okay, and if you look at it, there's the bottom end of the range. The 618's up here. You got trend line resistance coming in. We're kind of in the middle of all this crap. So 132, 130.60, and we are still in a bearish trend while we're below 135. You guys all know that. All right, let's go over to the Swissy. So the Swissy, I mean, what a nice run in the Swissy. The sad thing is I had it pegged perfectly, as Paul and I were talking about. I mean, I was long here at 96.10. That's where I was long. And I got out at 96.46 or something. I had it totally pegged for 97.50, and I screwed that one up pretty good. Anyway, yeah, we got horizontal resistance here. I think that if you get a stab higher following a strong jobs report, an ADP report, 98.60 is going to offer resistance. We're pretty overbought here. Paul was saying that we're stretched. We are. I mean, we push new highs, and RSI is not going to push new highs. So what was that number? 98.60. Now, I'm not an advocate for shorting the dollar Swiss, I'm just saying if you're long, if you're on the long side, maybe you're long the pound Swiss or Euro Swiss or something. You just want to pay attention as we make our way up towards some resistance here. Support. So support, we should be very well supported on the way back down to here, this yellow line. So that is 97.70. I wouldn't mind being a buyer down there. Not necessarily today, but ahead of Friday's numbers, we are in a range. Okay, let's go over to the dollar yen. Now the dollar yen. Okay, so we talked a lot about the dollar yen. I shorted it yesterday afternoon at I shorted it 103, 103.04 or something like that, and I closed it like for 102.95 and Asian trade, and then I had a short New Zealand yen that I closed it out for like a 10 pip loss. So basically I flatted both of them. It didn't really do anything. I shorted it like over here, closed it like over here, and I said, just scratch them, because I've been looking at this chart, and you guys know I've been staring at this damn thing. Here, let me get rid of this really quick. I want to redraw that. And I'm sitting here looking at this chart going, okay, well, it looks like we're heading back to 103.50, 104. This is a descending trend line, so it's losing like maybe 20, 30 pips per day. All right. So, we were originally looking at like 104, but now it's like 103, 103.50, 103.60 is going to offer some really good resistance. So 103.50. So if we do get a strong ADP jobs report, I'm going to sell in the strength in the dollar yen. I'm going to. I think this is going to be really key resistance up here. Because look at it. So we're in a bearish trend. Okay. If you think from a risk reward perspective, okay, I'd rather be short here than short here. I'd rather be long somewhere down here than long right here. Right? Because if I'm wrong, if I short the dollar yen, let's say it spikes up to 103, I'm just going to use a 103.70. All right? Let's say we spike past that resistance. Sorry, I'm stretching. I slept on my back, and like the middle of my back is sore from whatever. So I've been stretching a lot this morning, trying to work out this kink that I got in my back. Anyway, a 103.50 resistance or 103.50, 60 spike. If you short it, what's your risk? Maybe 30 or 40 pips to make what? A move back down here, maybe down to 101, 102, 100. So you're risking maybe 30 or 40 pips to make 100 or 200 or maybe even more than that. So my 2 cents is, why not take a shot at it up here, even if I'm wrong? I don't mind being wrong. It's not fun being wrong, but I don't mind being wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if I can manage my risk good, and if I can manage my risk well and risk $1 to make 3 or 4, then I'm willing to do it, right or wrong. I'm going to be wrong. I know that. All right. The point is being able to manage risk good. So that's why I said, dollar yen being short here, well, in a strong downtrend, why not? Okay. Now, if we can clear 104, 105 going into next week, we're in the process then of building a real big base, and I can argue being on the long side of the dollar yen after that. But for right now, okay, big resistance up there at 103.50. Support. Oh, wait, hold on. One other thing I wanted to point out. Let's get rid of this really quick. So if you take this last move lower, like this, like right here, you can even go right here. from that peak to the lows, you notice, here, let me move this over a little bit. You notice we have 127% extension too at 103.50. Big confluence of resistance. 53. So you have this big confluence of fibs right there. All right. That's why I don't mind shorting on a move up there if we can get it. All right. Again, support. So support's going to be pretty well supported there. 102. What is that? 102.35. Okay. Canadian. We have Canadian GDP today. You know, the interesting thing is the Canadian GDP is expected. We're expected 0.4%, a nice pickup in GDP. Now, GDP is backward looking, so I try not to read too far into GDP numbers, but still backward looking. All right. So let's get rid of that. You know, this dollar Canadian has been really just squeezing the hell out of everybody. I think the market was full on expecting crude oil. You know, full on expecting crude oil to continue higher, and crude has been working its way lower from like 49 bucks. And the dollar Canadian, I think everybody was expecting full on Canadian strength a couple weeks ago, and they're just getting this, you know, crap squeezed out of them now. Okay, so now you have this, you have of the big move here, you have a 786 retracement. This move right here, you have an 88% retracement. That comes in at 131.50. If we get a spike up to 131.50, here's another, you know, 1.3150. That's going to be major resistance. And if we get a spike up there following the Canadian data, that's probably a great area to take profits if you're long. I don't even know if I'd want to short that, because I really think crude oil is going back to the mid-30s, but that's, you know, me. But I think if you want to take profits there, that's a good place to take profits. If you want to give it give it a short, you know, if you want to try to short into that strength, you can try to do that too. I think that's the place to do it, though. Right now, any dip probably going to be very well supported down here at 100.30. $130.30, and we're back in our range. Okay. Kiwi. This freaking Kiwi is so strong. It's so irritating. All right. So obviously this flag's not happening. But let's stop here for a second. I'm going to show you something. Low to high. That is a 38% retracement, major support at 72. Now, we're closing in on resistance here at 72.65. Okay, and 72 is major support. Okay, if for some reason we break through 72 cents, it's you gotta think that's a major short below 72 cents. That's just major support. 72.65 is resistance. We're almost there. Damn thing. We are in a range. If we break above the 72.65, we're talking a range extension. Maybe they'll take us back up to 79, I don't know, and a quarter. We might rally to like 73.10 73.10. I'm going to tell you right now, if we get to 73.10, I'm going to short the hell out of this thing. I'm just saying, okay? I'm going to really just lay into it up there. But it's possible because the stupid thing's not going down either. All right? Point. Oops. All right. Aussie. As I'm trying to cram through this stuff really quick. All right, so here's your Aussie. Well, let's stop there for a second. This thing's just been trading really heavy. Aussie target's coming in at 74 cents, which is the same as the spike low right here. Okay. $0.75 is support this morning. Okay, resistance. Well, any move back up to 75.85. $75.80 is going to find resistance. Also, keep in mind we're in a massive triangle, as you guys know. Massive, right? Now we're just smack dab in the middle of this stupid thing, which makes it probably pretty frustrating because, you know, it's just directionless inside of the triangle. It was a great short. You know, I shorted the Aussie the last 2 weeks, and it's actually made me a lot of money being on the short side of this stupid thing. Again, helps compensate for my Aussie New Zealand that continues to grind lower, but you know the Aussie has been a really, really nice short. Okay, all right. Let's do. You know what? When we come back, we'll do the dollar index, peso, Swedish krona, Norwegian krona. I'll be back in a few moments. Don't go anywhere, folks. Thanks for being here. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. Let's finish up what we're doing over here. Let's go over to the dollar index and let's get this analysis out of the way. Okay, so here's the dollar index. Dollar index has been climbing up towards the 618 retracement. And you can see we're getting real close. 96 and a quarter. Support should be right here at 95.85, right, or 83, whatever it is, 85. Actually, I want to look at that a little bit closer. Yeah, this is a very you can see this is a very high traffic area, so I think this is all going to be pretty decent support through here. Yeah, you can see that, you know, breakout points here. So I'm going to write down 95.80, 96 and a quarter. If you're long the dollar, you know, selling in the strength up there makes sense, my opinion. If you've been riding this, you know, bullish dollar wave for a while, okay. We are in a range. Peso. Here's your peso. So this has been I actually considered shorting this yesterday, and then I thought, wow, that's stupid. I really did. I was thinking yesterday, I'm like, man, I want to short this US dollar Mexican peso. And then I thought to myself, why would I do that? This thing is like out of control strong. And I didn't. But look at this thing. Now, I'm not saying that this bull flag is going to play out, but man, if it does, look at this. I mean, you got. Let's take from the high here. I'll draw them both out. Okay. I mean, we could test 19 on a move higher pretty easily. Look at that. If this flag decides to play, well, look at this damn thing. I think that's what no one expects to happen, myself included. It's like no one expects the dollar peso to go up to 19. We get a little risk averse and then whoop, we're going right up there. So resistance should be for today 1890. Looks so strong. 1890. It's unbelievable how strong this thing is. And then support will be this right through here. Okay. Yeah. 1865. Again, I almost shorted it yesterday, and I'm like, dude, what am I thinking? Like, easy. Easy, dummy. Put up there like that, okay? So, 1865. Support. I've not been trading the peso much recently. Because I think the time that I traded the peso, I bought it here, sold it here, and missed everything else. Something like that. I traded it on the long side somewhere down here, made it like 300 pips and missed like 40,000 pips. Maybe 4,000, but still, you get my point. Okay. US dollar, Norwegian krona. All right, so let's remove that. Again, I lost all my drawings from yesterday, so I have to kind of reset myself where we're at. So the US dollar, Norwegian krona, I think it caught a lot of people on the short side on this like false breakdown over here. We've rallied back to the 50% retracement. That's holding right now. That is 836. $836. We break above that. That's a 50% retracement. We break above that, and then we're heading to 84 cents probably. Okay. This is in a range. Support. Any move back down to 826 is going to be very well supported. Because that triangle bottom is coming through here. Okay. And he dipped back to 825, 826. It's pretty key support. Let's take a look at the Swedish krona. I mean, the Swedish krona, look at this. We're right at the 618 retracement. That's massive. 856. If we break that, we're right up on it. I mean, if we break that, we're going. How strong that is. We're probably heading to 860. 2. Yeah, let me get rid of this. I'm just trying to figure out where support is right now. We're right down at 845. Might hit support before then at 850, but 845 on a weak number, you know. All right, guys, your bias chart's done. It's finished, and